Earlier, I spoke with William Reich. He is an associate professor at Georgia College. He is also the author of the book, The Ukrainian West. Now, the book explores how Soviet rule was imposed in Western Ukraine and other areas. He shares his perspective on the latest developments in Kiev.
Well, it doesn't look very good for President Yanukovych, even within his own ruling party, the Party of Regions. According to at least one newspaper report from today, yesterday's negotiations in the parliament, the Supreme Rada, suggest that many from the Party of Regions, as many as 60 members, planned to vote for a number of changes, including a return to the 2004 Constitution, which would basically strip Yanukovych of all of his powers and create a primarily parliamentary state. And I don't think that there's very much room for Yanukovych. The question is, what will happen with the political opposition? At this point, as you may know, Yanukovych has taken a sick leave. It suggests that there is severe fighting within his political party. And it looks like there are some members of Party of Regions who are saying that we should change the Constitution, go back to 2004, and perhaps go along with the opposition in a number of their demands. Meanwhile, the opposition has to deal with a street that is very restless because of over 2 months of protesting that seemed to get nowhere. And it has only been in these last few days that finally it looks like perhaps for the opposition and for the people on the street, the Maidan, that the ice is breaking.
Well, let's go back to this sick leave because that was an announcement that was made. Do you think that this is a ploy for sympathy or perhaps just a way for things to slow down for him?
I really doubt that this is something for sympathy, based on the kind of violence that has been unleashed by his regime in the last several weeks, if not in the past 2 months. It suggests that there's very little room for sympathy for him. But it does suggest, I would say, that there is serious trouble within ruling circles, that is, the Party of Regions that rules Ukraine currently. It is also possible that Yanukovych may be trying to buy for some time. Perhaps he's using this medical leave to plan his next move. That cannot be excluded either. But it's very worrisome because I was talking to a friend, a journalist in Ukraine, who said that no one has ever, as president of Ukraine, ever declared sick leave like this. This is really unprecedented. And it does suggest that perhaps he's losing control of the ship.
Russian President Vladimir Putin has also halted the promised $15 million aid announced earlier. Is the Ukrainian president treading a thin line, or do you think this opens the door for Ukraine to accept a deal with the EU and then quell the protests?
It is possible that these moves by Russia could force Ukraine into the arms of the EU, but I think it should be noted that in late December already, the EU had stopped negotiating with Yanukovych over the association agreement and found him to be too much of a double dealer. So it's quite possible that the EU may not help out Yanukovych at all. What I think this might do is it does give a clear indication of the serious financial problems that Ukraine faces.
Professor, how much longer can this go on?
Well, one of my friends said that they're going to hold this Maidan until summer. It could last all year long, but it really, the last few days suggest perhaps within the Party of Regions, the Party of Regions is fragmenting, and if the ruling party fragments, it is possible to form a new coalition in parliament, which could force early presidential and parliamentary elections, or even more, they could return to the Constitution of 2004.